We're going to talk about what we actually paid for the Wonder of the Sea. The base fare paid was $428. Before we add all the extras, the cruise was $841.25. So the whole entire trip ended up costing us $2,126.36. So as you can see, we went from $841.24 up to $2,100.26. That's another over $1,200 in extras.
Welcome back to Life With Us TV. It's your girl, Lynette.
And it's your boy, Stanley.
All right, in today's video, we're going to keep it real with you. We're going to give you the true cost that it will take to get on a Royal Caribbean cruise. Listen, you have heard it once or probably twice that Royal Caribbean is the nickel and diamond cruise. And we're going to break down what does that really mean for the average cruiser like yourself. What does it mean for the cost just to get on board versus actual cost?
Yeah, man.
In real layman terms. You ready to get into it? Let's go. We're
going to talk about what we actually paid for the Wonder of the Sea that we just came off about a month ago. It was a 4-night, 5-day, 4-night cruise. So we're going to break down what we paid for, especially dining, internet, and things like that. So let's get into those numbers. So the first thing, the base fare, which we told in the beginning that we paid, was $428. So then they added $265.24 onto it for port fees and taxes. So if you don't know what those are, you already know what taxes is because they come out your check every single week and you be pissed off. Port fees is where you're going into destinations, Bahamas, Mexico, Jamaica. They saying you just can't pull up here, player. You're going to have to pay
Everybody has to pay.
You got a cruise line pass that cost along to. So that's the $265. And then we always add in our gratuities, and that was $148. So our cruise, before we add all the extras, the cruise was $841.25.
Y'all probably be like, how did you get a rate like that? That was a casino rate.
Yes.
So let's just go ahead and keep it all the way 100 with you, because the regular rate was $1,208, and we were able to get that rate for $428. Significant savings.
Difference.
By getting a casino deal.
And so for y'all that are new, like casino deal, how can I get me one of them deals then?
Wrong video.
If you are a new cruiser to Royal Caribbean, you have to go into the casino and play into the casino. That's a whole nother game right there that we don't have time to teach you in this video like this. So I'm glad you told them what we would have paid without the casino deal.
Yes.
All right, so now we put the extras in there. So for the internet, we actually paid $183.92. We paid $651.20 for the drink package. Also, we did specialty dining, and so we ended up paying $450 for that.
And that was 3 restaurants.
Yes. So the whole entire trip ended up costing us $2,126.36. So as you can see, we went from $841.24 up to $2,100.26. So that's another over $1,200 in extras.
And that doesn't even account for flights,
transportation,
hotel,
what we bought,
food,
clothes that we bought, and all that stuff before we went. Yeah,
personal maintenance, like we were talking about. So true cost of that trip probably around $3,500.
Yeah, when you factor in
everything. So this is where I like to do the interjection of the real versus what is presented as the cost of everything. You get on these cruises and you'll hear people be like, oh shoot, I was on here. Because trust me, we just got off of a cruise and we heard someone beside us talking about, oh yeah, me and my friend, we're on this trip for $400 per person. I know that $400 per person was probably more around $3,000 total by the time you finish doing everything that you needed to do. Right. So do not go into cruise fare envy.
Right.
Because there is a total cost that it takes for everyone to do these trips. Even on casino deals, as you saw, a trip that started off as a presenting, get on the Wonder of the Seas for $200 per person.
Right.
That $200 per person, once you do the fare, the taxes, the port fees, gratuities, $800. Don't get into cruise fare envy.
Yeah. I know you done been on the Royal Caribbean's website, and them prices that you see on there, those are just base prices. Those are interior cabins. And if you don't know what an interior cabin is, it's a room without a window. And that's the price that they're quoting you right there because they want to show you the lowest price first. But keep in mind that we said the price that we pay right now could either be higher or lower when you go to book your trip. Royal Caribbean, if you don't know, is that they work off of dynamic price. What they mean by dynamic pricing, if you don't know their terminology, what that means is as demand goes up for the product, the price goes up. As demand goes down, the price goes down. You could be looking at something today and the tomorrow is like $300, $400, $500 more because the demand came overnight. But I'm like, let's let the price.
I mean, that's
be
extreme, but it can happen.
Yeah, but it can happen. We want to give you some prices of what gratuities typically will cost. If you got a standard room, and it's gonna be about $18.50 per person per day. If you got a suite, it's gonna be $21 per day. If you're unaware of it, they're gonna take it and tack it on to your C-Pass card. And what their C-Pass card is on Royal Caribbean is their card that you use to get on the ship, to get in your room, to pay for stuff on the cruise. But as far as the room gratuities, you can actually prepay those in advance. So that way you don't have to worry about that extra cost at the end of the cruise. You can go to the guest services on Royal Caribbean and you can ask them to remove it. We don't recommend that, but you do have that option. When you go to the bar and get drinks, they're going to tack on an extra 18% to the price of that drink. So if you like to go to the spa, you like to go to the salon, same thing. But this time it's going to go from 18 up to 20% that they're going to tack on to the cost for gratuity. The 18 and the 20%, fam, you can't eliminate that. They like Debo said, that's my money, punk. That's what Royal Caribbean is saying to you. So the next thing that can actually raise the cost of your cruise up, that is the internet package. It can range because they have several different packages. If you pay for it, it'd be about $27 per day per person.
One thing I can say about Royal Caribbean's internet, they have the best internet at sea.
Ooh, yes, indeed.
All right, the next thing that we want to talk about is the drink package. Do everyone need to get a drink package? Absolutely not. But what is the pricing? The pricing is usually for the deluxe package, which is the alcohol and everything below it, is $63 per person per day, up to like $125 per person per day.
And then also $18 gratuity is added to
18%.
The 18%.
The refreshment package, non-alcoholic, it can range between $29 per person per day up to like $42 per person per day.
Yep.
Soda package, between $13 to $18 per person per day.
And the one thing about us, on every Royal Caribbean cruise, we get the drink package. And the reason that we do is because of the cost of the drink. I'm going to tell you, it's going to be on average of at least $15 plus the 18%. If you do the math on it, how quickly that can add up. So we get that because we would go over, even on a trip that we minimally drink, we would still spend
more than the package.
So the next thing that could cost you extra to be added on that can be worth it, specialty dining. And you see her pointing at me.
He's the bougie one on these trips,
now,
trust me.
The specialty dining, you do not need it, but specialty dining is amazing. We're looking at specialty dining can cost you anywhere from $25 to about $70 per person. All depends on what specialty diners you go to.
Agreed.
So just in case you new to cruising and don't like specialty dining, what kind of dining is that? So this is over and above the stuff that's included in your cruise fare. So when you book your cruise, the buffet is included, their dining rooms are included, but anything else beyond that actually costs you.
Yeah.
So you don't have to do those things, but they do enhance your cruise experience because you go into these places. So for instance, like Chop Grill, that's their steakhouse. So that's a real elegant place, real nice. So you get on there, and especially you get on there and you go through Central Park, Lord.
You're going to want to stay up.
And you're going to be like, you know what? I need to go to Chop's Grill because this is so sexy up over here.
It really is.
It looks so nice. So also they have stuff like One Central Park, a Zoom,
150 Central Park.
150 Hook. So they have plenty. Go on their website, check those all out. But those definitely can raise the price of your cruise. And we want you to be thinking about that before you get on the cruise, because we don't want you to make no impulse decision.
Right.
And get on your first cruise and end up having thousands of dollars in debt on your credit card. Like
happen.
We did on our first cruise, because we weren't aware of internet packages and specialty diners and gratuities and all that stuff.
And there's always going to be an attendant or someone that's trying to get you to spend a little bit extra money.
Yep.
Soon as you walk on the ship, hey, have you did your specialty diner? Did you buy the
Yep.
You are going to be roped in. All right, so the next thing that we're going to talk about are shore excursions.
Yeah, man.
All right, so the average cost of shore excursions, they can go anywhere from like $50 per person, $35 per person, up to the hundreds per person. It just depends on the experience that you want to have. But the cheapest is going to be, of course, your beach day experiences. And I kind of have a rule.
Yeah.
Whenever I am going to a new destination, and if you're watching this video, you probably are a novice cruiser or someone that's going on their first cruise. You're in that destination. Do something in that destination. Because guess what? Walking around in the cruise port, okay, that's cool or whatever. But why? That's not the culture. You're not getting a real true experience of the island that you're on. Get out. But book your skit through the cruise line. Are they more expensive? Yes. Are they more expensive for a reason? Yes. Because they make the process seamless. They make it so easy. And you have a guarantee that if something were to happen on that cruise excursion,
baby,
they will make it so that you get back to that ship. Do that on your own. Let you go out there on Willis fish boat. If you know, you know. And you get stuck and you have 5 minutes to get back to the cruise port and you were 10 minutes late. That cruise ship gone.
Yeah.
And guess what's going to happen? You got to figure out how to either meet up with that cruise ship at the next destination or get your butt back home. It's not worth it.
And that price can cost you more than you pay for the cruise.
All right, the next thing that we're going to talk about is travel insurance. All right, so when we're talking about the cost of it, let me give you some examples. I'm going to look down. So on a $2,000 cruise, it usually will cost you $150 to cover that cruise. If it's 2 people in the cabin, then think about it as $75 per person to cover that trip. So a $2,500 cruise is going to be about $200, $100 per person. And then a $3,500 cruise is going to be $289 to cover that trip as well. Here lately, a lot of people, I am a person that I stay on social media. And this past couple of months, I have seen so many people on there complaining or pleading with companies to give them some grace because they did not protect the trip that they purchased. Just like I would never tell somebody to leave out of their house and drive their car without car insurance.
Right.
I would never tell somebody to get on a trip and do not have the coverage that they need for their trip. But what travel protection does not usually do is protect you when you just, I don't want to go.
Yeah, you just change your mind. All right, so the next thing that can raise the price of your Royal Caribbean cruise, buying stuff before the cruise.
Oh,
so your pre-cruise stuff, talking about your clothes and you're getting your hair done, your nails done, getting your hair cut, getting some new shoes, new clothes, all that. Factor that cost in there as well.
That's usually $500 per person.
Or more.
Or more.
And this next one, people don't consider either.
On a cruise, you're going to at least do one of these things that's going to jack that cost up. We're talking about photos.
We're talking about onboard extras.
The spa, casino, souvenirs, room service fees. So you have those days where you just don't want to get up and get out and go and fight with people in the Windjammer. The Windjammer is the buffet.
It's their buffet.
And if you're an introvert like us, about day 3 of a trip, we're going to do room service because we're kind of peopled out.
Yeah.
We need a recharge.
And that's right now $9.95 per delivery. Yeah.
You have kids. Of course they want to play in the arcade. All the other kids from kids camp have told them about the arcade. Yeah. And now your kid is going to want to play some games.
Yep.
And guess who's going to say yes? You. Bingo is a big one on board.
Oh my God.
And I can see why people get wrapped into it. We played our first bingo game probably a few months ago because it's so fun.
Yeah.
Laundry. If you're a person like us, sometimes we just don't want to take dirty clothes home with us, or we're on an extensive trip and you don't want to pack for all of those days. So you pack like half of the stuff that you really need and send them down to go get them laundered. So that's an extra cost as well.
All right, fam, if you have enjoyed this video, you want to check out this video next on the screen, 25 Royal Caribbean tips for first-time cruising. We talk about like documents you need, some things that you need to bring, stuff like not using your debit card in port. You're going to want to check out that video, and we're going to see you in the next video. Peace.